He is back on TV now with a hilarious new show called The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. Everybody, please welcome back to the show, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah,
we surround you.
Yeah, it's great.
No, I could not have. We had Tracy here, and I saw a bit of the show before he came on, and I was like, oh my God, it's so funny seeing you in this role. I just love when actors, you're allowed to play like such different roles, you know what I'm saying, that showcase different parts of your personality and not just the one. It's so funny. Congratulations on the show.
It's a really fun show. I love it.
Yes, I heard it. The role was actually, Tracy told me actually that it was written with you in mind.
I guess so, yeah. So I'd done a little bit of work with Robert Carlock and Sam Means and Tina Fey before on, I was in the Kimmy Schmidt movie that they did, and I'd done an animated show with Robert and Sam.
Amazing writers,
incredible writers, and they obviously really like doing jokes about English people and about Englishness in general. And I think I give them access to, it's not a hard thing for me to play a like pretentious posh Englishman. It's very it's within my range.
It's not very you though.
Thank you.
I've interviewed you several times now. You're like the opposite of it, but it's kind of fun to play a little bit of that.
It's great, and it's kind of one of the first comedy things I ever got to do was I was in the Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant show Extras back in the day, and they kind of gave me a chance to play like a version of like the child actor that probably everyone really thought I was like at that time, and so it was fun to be able to like take the out of that a little bit.
And Ricky, just another brilliant mind.
Ricky and Stephen Merchant, like I was like, they're both amazing.
I've had to play a version of myself once, and it was more fun because it was just like this completely different version of me.
If you get to play like, if you're actually playing a version of yourself, that's less fun, but playing like an unhinged version of yourself is great. Yeah, absolutely.
It was like a highly sexual, inappropriate version of myself. And it was insanely fun.
Awesome,
It was like, I'm gonna just so lean in and freak everyone out on set.
Great.
Girl Next Door, turns out, is really weird. No, but we love Tracy here so much. But I heard that Tracy it was your first Knicks game or basketball game?
It was my first basketball game of any kind I went to the other day with Tracy. And
just interviewing him is wild. It's like I'm on a wild Mustang, like you know what I'm saying, the horse. And so I can't imagine how he is at a game.
I mean, Tracy, every day you spend with Tracy, he's gonna say like 5 of the craziest things you've ever heard a human being say. He's also like insanely generous and kind and sweet and can be really vulnerable. At the Knicks game, he kept telling me he was gonna like make LeBron James give me his shoes. And I was like, please don't.
Which, by the way, is probably not a joke.
No,
he probably was legit gonna ask.
Like, yes, he absolutely was going to. And I was there being like, dude, don't, please.
Just
like,
please
LeBron James just absolutely doesn't want to give me his shoes. And like, where am I gonna put them? And he was like, there is no doubt in my mind that if Tracy had got a moment with LeBron at the end of the game, he would have been asked for that. He was also like...
And would have asked casually, like, of course.
Yeah, no, would have acted like, he wouldn't have been like, please, he would have been like, give me your shoes.
Yes, it would have been like, you should probably hand me those.
No, but Tracy is like, he's amazing. Like, I got to go to Tracy the night before we started shooting. Tracy had all the cast, the writers, the producers and the directors all like over to his house.
Which he's told me about, which I've heard about the aquarium basically. Like he has like all these fish tanks.
Like you're underselling it, Kelly. It's like, it's 11 large fish tanks and an aquarium, like which is differentiated by its size. He has a shark tank. There are 5 sharks. He has a pool table with a tank full of piranhas built into the bottom, like a Bond villain.
I love it.
There's like an animatronic stuffed lion. There's not stuffed, not a real lion. Very clear, to be clear. It is an animatronic robot lion that he has in the hallway.
And I bet you he's got LeBron shoes somewhere there.
I think he does maybe have a different pair. That's why he was saying it to me.
Oh my God, I love him so much. You just never know. It's so wild, the conversation. You can also see Daniel right now on Broadway in Every Brilliant Thing at the Hudson Theater. Shout out right there. So explain the play a bit. It's a one-man show, right?
Kind of. So
Okay.
it's a show about a young. It starts as about a character who, when he was young, made a list of everything brilliant he could think about of the world to cheer up his mum, who is battling with severe depression and mental health stuff.
Sad.
And then it's about how the making of that list of everything brilliant kind of follows him into adulthood, and like how it's kind of becomes like a coping mechanism for him. It's a play about depression, but it's very, very funny. And I said the reason I say it's almost a one-man show is because there is a ton of audience participation.
I heard, yeah. What does that mean?
So it means that basically so if the show's at, say tonight the show's at 8, so at 7:30, half an hour beforehand, I will be in the audience, kind of saying hello to people as they come in, kind of like getting a read on people and trying to figure out who we are going to cast in the show that night, because 5 people who come to the show that night will end up being kind of in the play with me. So there's about 90 people get to shout something out. I give them a card which has a number on it and a thing to shout, and they shout the thing when I say the number. But then 5 people fully play characters in it. And your face of amazement, ma'am, yes, I am freaking people out a lot in the audience at the
Now, that, I mean, look, I feel like you could see the same show on Broadway, and it's different every night because people are emotionally in a different place, like their voice is in a different place, like it's just different every night. But that's really different every night. Is that slightly terrifying?
It's slightly terrifying, but in a great way.
Because you're dependent upon these other humans, and humans can let you down.
They can, although here's what I'll say about this show, and what's wonderful about doing it as the performer is that it is a show that really, like, the engine of the show is kindness. And so as soon as people figure out that we're not getting them up on stage to be, like, super funny or super smart or whatever, and that if they are kind, the play flies and is amazing. And actually being on stage with people as you get to watch people be, like, amazing and kind and brilliant, and it's really, it does a lot to restore your faith in humanity, actually. It's really nice,
What a different kind of show. Is that how they sold you on doing it?
Kind of. Well, I read it, and it's a great play. Like, Duncan Macmillan and Johnny Donahoe, the writers, like, wrote a great play. But the fact that it is just, like, I read it and I was like, right, no one's gonna ask me to do something like this again. There isn't really anything else like this I've ever experienced. Like, it should feel like we, as a community in the theatre, are, like, making the show together every night, and there's something
which is very childlike and, like, beautiful and creative.
Yeah, like, I do think, like, I know,
like
I know you're busy, but you will come. Like, everybody comes.
I literally was telling Alex this, my executive producer, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this.
Please do,
it just sounds so different.
It's really cool, and it's quick. It's like an hour 15. You're in and out.
Oh, I like a good hour
One
and
act,
15.
no intermission. Yeah, great.
Okay, so there's a new Harry Potter series coming out, and you wrote a letter. I had to bring this up because, first of all, I think it's so sweet. You wrote a letter to the young actor, Dominic, is it McLaughlin?
McLaughlin,
Yes, McLaughlin, who is set to play Harry. So I'm wondering, like, you were so young when you started, like, that's a really beautiful thing. I feel like I get to do that a little bit on The Voice with these other artists that are young and they're kind of starting how I did. What would you have said to yourself, you think? Or do you think you would have?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like when I was that young, honestly, I was pretty carefree. Like, I was just having a great time.
Kind of a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think, like, at the end of the series, I think I was so worried about, like, what was my life going to be after that. So a message from the future being like, you will be okay. You will make it. Would have been nice. But yeah, I really don't know. Like, I just, like, all I could do, obviously when I wrote to him, I was just like wishing him the best time, and I'm so happy for him and everybody. I hope they're having, like, an incredible, we had such a great time making those films that I can only wish that experience for anybody who's making them now as well. And anyone who starts young, obviously, you just want to, like, protect and sort of nurture. I am so glad you just said that, because I literally just took my kids to where y'all did film it, and you, like, went to school and did all that stuff. They had that thing, like an hour outside of London, like a drive. And I literally did it, and I kept thinking, because my kids, so, like, there's this point when my girl was having a sleepover, and they're, like, 4 girls, and they're all singing. It was Christmas time, and they were singing me and Ariana Grande's song, but they were trading off, like, playing me and playing Ariana, and it was, like, so weird to see your kid singing your part, and it was so, and I thought, oh my God, when I was at the Harry Potter thing, I think I just spit on you, my bad. But when I was at the Harry Potter thing, I was like, this is gonna be the wildest thing, because you have a kid now, and your little boy will be running around your house in the whole garb, because this is like, it's now a pop culture, it's like Shakespeare, it's embedded in culture now. Your kid's gonna be running around your house and being Harry, and it's you, and it's weird.
It's so weird.
But what is nice, though, is that now that there'll be this TV series, he can watch that if he doesn't want to watch his dad do something. Like, that's much nicer.
I love that you think that's going to be it.
I hope
it's
so.
not.
I don't know. I think...
And it's good. And it's just, I was walking, I'm telling you, I had this experience walking around this whole thing, which, by the way,
Cool.
I was so impressed.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, by the art department, everybody there, like, costumes, everything that went into the emotionality of that whole thing. Anyway, it was crazy. But when I was walking around, I was with my kids, and I was like, oh my God, these kids were kids, and they're gonna have kids, and they're gonna be, this is so Inception for me, and they're gonna be running around, and it's gonna make you, if you think you're crying now, if you think you're emotional now, I cried when I saw them doing me and Ariana, and I was like, oh my God, my kid's being me right now, it's weird.
He saw me for the first time on TV the other day, because obviously the Olympics were on, and they're doing trailers for the Reggie show a lot, and so like, I had actually left the room at the time, and then a trailer for it came on, and apparently my son like looked up with a tone of like, I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah.
He looked up to my girlfriend.
How are you
and was
in
like,
the box?
Dada. And my girlfriend was like, and then he asked like, did he leave? Because he thought I had like left the room and then appeared in the TV.
Yeah.
Like, it was very cute. Also, like I think it's a lot of the kids who live in the building that we live in.
Yeah.
That was their first time seeing me. So it was like, why is my friend's dad on our TV?
Yeah.
Something like it's cute. And,
I know, the different generations. That's why I think it's so trippy, is because you're little there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can't wait
No,
for
it's
that
gonna be
moment
weird.
for you.
Yeah,
I know.
for sure.
You're gonna be like, and then I really hope you correct him. Like, you said it wrong.
Sure.
It's Leviosa. I just really hope you correct him. Welcome back, everybody. Daniel Radcliffe is here. His new NBC series is called The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins. During production, the cast and crew did a little celebration with karaoke, so we thought we'd play a game about some of the most popular karaoke songs of all time. This is Pop Pop Quiz. Pop Pop Quiz! Oh my God. All right, Lauren, are you there? Yeah. God comes to our set.
Okay, wow.
You better believe I am. What's up, Kelly? Hey, Daniel, how you doing down there?
Hello, God.
You looking good. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. Always watching, always watching. Here is our game today. I'm going to read a trivia question, and the answer to that question is hidden in the lyrics of a popular song. So if I ask, how white was the fleece on the lamb owned by
White as
Mary?
snow.
You already got a point. That's a point on the board for Kelly.
She gets a point? She gets
Yes,
a point.
we're screwing around.
No, I don't get a point for that, but oh my God, I thought I was gonna suck at this. I might not.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Don't
Get
get
ready.
sassy, Daniel. I make up the rules. Don't mess with me now. Don't mess with me now. I love you. I'm just kidding. It's Daniel versus Kelly in this throwdown showdown. Here we go. Here's our first question. In Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, what natural occurrence was very, very frightening?
Thunder and lightning.
Thunderbolt and lightning.
Kelly,
Fire. Oh, anyway.
Kelly buzzed in, but Daniel answered.
I said thunder and lightning. It is thunderbolt and lightning.
That's true.
You don't get points for pedantry. Like you get
Well,
points for being right. Well done.
No, you do with God.
Kelly,
sometimes.
you hit the buzzer, but Daniel answered. I'm giving you each a point for that.
See,
Okay,
you got it actually
Thank you,
technically right.
Okay, here's your next question.
Oh my God, I love
In
how I can say
Journey's most beloved karaoke jam, we had a small town girl as well as a city boy who was born and raised in
South
the
Detroit.
South Park.
South Detroit.
You got it. Born and raised in South Detroit.
My girlfriend's from Michigan. I have to know that.
You know what? It's such a disappointment if you not know that.
Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. Wine and cheap perfume. Here we go. Here's one that Daniel had better get.
Oh.
In The Real Slim Shady, Eminem was jealous that what rapper didn't have to cuss in songs in order to...
Will Smith.
That's it. You got it.
Turns out he's
Daniel is
talented.
dominating right now. 3 points to Kelly's sad little one.
Whatever.
That's all right.
God.
That's all right, girl. I'm pulling for you. Okay, here's the next one. Years ago, Coldplay wrote a song for you and the things you did. What color were the stars?
Yellow.
They were yellow. There you go, Kelly. That's what I'm talking about.
That was more my generation.
Yellow stars. That's right. Nothing wrong with a little jaundice. Okay, here's the next question. In Uptown Funk, Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars had Chucks on and wore Saint Laurent. You might say they were smoother than a new jar of what kind of sandwich spread?
Skippy.
That's it. I'm going to give it to you. That's Skippy. Yes, peanut butter. You got it, Daniel.
Impressed right now. I'm just so impressed.
Did I get that right? I don't think that's a brand we have in England, but I think that's the lyric, right?
You did
That
it.
is
You
the
did it.
lyric.
Yeah.
You got it.
I mean, honestly,
Okay.
I don't know. So I'll just, yeah, you did it. I don't know.
Okay, here's your next question. Daniel just destroying in this game. It
Oh,
is
thank
very
you.
impressive.
Thank you for the recall.
Okay, now, come on. Here's your next question. In Mr. Brightside, the killers were falling asleep while their girlfriend was calling what often yellow form
cab.
of transportation? You got it. That's it,
I
Kelly.
know the killers. Okay. Guess who's coming back?
Okay, here we go. It is time for one more question, and then I will determine the winner at my own personal discretion.
the
How about that? That's how I roll.
This is not a system.
Kelly, it's all right. Don't argue with God now.
Fair,
Come on
fair.
now. I'll strike you down. I'll smite your ass. Here we go. Here's our
Smite.
Just playing. I love you. I love you. Here we go.
Who uses the word
Now, Kelly,
smite?
you could win this one.
Sure.
It's up to me. All right. In Pink Pony Club, Chapel Roan was having wicked dreams about leaving which U.S. state?
I have a 3-year-old that sings this song a lot. Tennessee.
It's Tennessee.
I didn't. I did not. I thought it was California, but that was West Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's something. I was thinking a different. Yeah.
Time is up. Time is up, and you're both winning. You both win. I give it to you both.
What?
You're both
No.
winners. Everybody's a
No.
winner. How about that?
Yes, good. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you, God.
No, I did
Daniel's
not
the winner.
win. Give it up